If fantasy and romance are what you seek, featuring heroines who aren't quite so meek, with book talk and Instagram full of deceit, simply listen to our podcast, Our Picks of the Week.
I have fallen into a deep, dark hole.
But it's the hole you don't want to get out of. Sorry.
No, I don't. It's extra spicy.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, so yes and no. So I am talking about specifically PacificRimbaud's entire catalog because that's the only thing I've been reading lately. I worked my way through I think it's her second longest one on there. It's definitely novel length. It's called Remember One Thing. And this is a Pansy Parkinson, Neville Longbottom
I dig it.
romance. This is very much like the same pacing and style as Love and Other Historical Accidents, but it is much darker. It has more serious themes. And I was pleasantly surprised to see how this author handled those elements in a plot and in storytelling and still preserve her voice. Because she does fun, quirky, and also tragic angst. But this was pretty dark. So it opens with Pansy waking up in a hospital room and she's looking around. She's like, why the fuck am I here? And she sees this man sitting in a chair in the corner and he's run ragged. He's wearing a fireman's uniform, firefighter's uniform. And it looks like he hasn't slept in months. And she's like, well, he's strangely hot, but why is he in my room? I don't recognize him. And then Hermione runs in and then Draco runs in and they're a team of doctors that work at St. Mungo's.
Oh.
And we come to find out that Pansy was involved in a very serious curse explosion accident. So in this universe, she is a jewelry, a magical jewelry restorer.
Oh.
So she takes apart brooches and necklaces and removes curses from them and stuff. So she was working with a necklace that she received from her mother and the thing exploded essentially and killed her. And so she was brought back to life. She was rescued on the brink of dying.
Yeah.
And it's been 3 months and she's been in the hospital ever since the explosion. And she remembers nothing. So her most recent memories are kind of from school, but hit or miss there. And so she doesn't also act the same way that she was acting before. But as the reader, we don't know what before was. So very similar to how Hermione was in Love and Historical Accidents, where we don't know what happened between her and Ron. We don't know what happened specifically to Pansy and what she has to remember. And so she's in the hospital room get the fuck away from me. Get me out of the hospital. It's very Pansy, a little, give me a cigarette, wearing leather jackets kind of thing.
Snooty.
And they're well, that man in the corner is your husband. And that's Neville.
I love it.
And you could see the utter despair on his face when she looks at him and says who are you and why are you here?
I love me an amnesia story.
This is full second chance romance. It will pull at your heartstrings. I don't want to reveal too much about it because uncovering the story is a journey and you get so many little bits and pieces. But what is done so very well in this particular one is how Pansy recovers her memory. It's she goes inside her brain and it's a separate world, a dimension.
Whoa.
So it's a plot on top of another plot. And Hermione does a magical mind meld thing where Pansy's asleep, in a coma, and Hermione visits her in her head. And Hermione's doing the psychoanalysis kind of piece, all right, Pansy, how about you show me around town? And Pansy's brain is this castle. And so they're going through the castle and uncovering things. So throughout the book, you get these interspersed experiences where we're in Pansy's head, or what's supposed to be a symbolism of Pansy's head. And Hermione's there guiding her. And then we have these, I know.
I love, wow. This is fan fiction.
This is,
you know what I mean?
It's this, I loved Love and Other Historical Accidents, but this one is so unique. It really could be its own, I don't think you need the plot of Harry Potter to make this stand alone and work by itself. Wow. And we have some fun secondary characters. There's a couple ghosts that are super cute, and they have this love-hate. They love each other, but they hate each other too, and they've been battling for centuries. So Pansy and Neville they go home to the castle that they live in together. And we get months of them like learning how to be around each other, but it's like they just started dating again.
Yeah.
But kind of, so Pansy's uncertain. She's like, well, I am not the woman that you married. Like, I have no memory of her. I'm a completely different person. So she has a lot of insecurities around that. Like, I will never be the woman that you married. Like, I'm me now. And Neville's like, I love you. You're alive. Like, chef's kiss. It is a work of art. It will tug at your heartstrings. There is some talk about fertility and having kids. It's like might trigger some people. It's just a sensitive topic that comes up. It's a theme in here. So yeah, that is Remember One Thing by PacificRimbaud. It is, if you need to pace yourself, save that one, because read Love and Other Historical Accidents first.
Yeah.
Put this one on a shelf and like save it, because you don't want to binge read like I did, because I did nothing but go from Hermione and Draco to utter heartbreak with
that's fair.
Pansy and Neville. It does have a happy ending. It's fantastic. But this is an homage to PacificRimbaud because I read all of her other stuff too.
I got like a text message like 3 or 4 days after we finished Love and Historical Accidents. And it was like, so I read like all of them. And I'm like, what do you mean all of them? And it was literally all of them.
Yep. They are all on my Kindle now. So, Love and Other Historical Accidents and Remember One Thing, I'd say they have spice in them, but it is the spice at the 65-70% mark that you get in like a full-length novel standard romance. Now, PacificRimbaud has another work called The Secretary.
I think I might have read this one.
It is a lot spicier, and it is not the pairing that you would expect. It is Pansy and Percy Weasley.
Oh, girl, you need to read Measure of a Man. They're in it as sub-characters.
Yeah.
Continue.
So there's also a movie called The Secretary that came out in like the early to mid 2000s, and it's like the precursor to 50 Shades of Grey.
Oh.
Yeah. It plays on the like master apprentice boss secretary dynamic, where there's like a power disparity. And like, if that's a thing for you, if that's something you enjoy, highly recommend The Secretary.
I'm reading the summary right now. I love this.
It does not shy away from the spicier scenes.
When their mutual desires begin to spin out of control, how will Pansy convince her boss that sometimes the only rules you need to follow are your own? Sold.
It's a quick read. So I'd say like this is like novella sized. You could read it in an hour or two. And that's all you need, because there's not a lot going on beside what's going on in the office, but there's some cute little like the inner office sticky notes. How they do you know how they move around?
They're like folded up into paper airplanes, right?
Paper birds. And everyone makes like, you can't control what you make. Like, so you write your sticky note and everyone's got like a different bird. And Pansy's birds are crows.
That's accurate.
Yeah.
I love that.
So there's The Secretary. And also in the same universe, there is, I wrote it down. Let me pull it up. There's another Hermione Draco story, because I know that's a huge favorite. It's called One and Done. And so set also in the ministry where Pansy is working for Percy. Percy's like a lawyer. Pansy's a secretary. In this one, One and Done, Hermione is a lawyer and Draco is an Aurora, yeah. And one day, Hermione, who's a very buttoned up secretary, or not secretary, lawyer type, she's like, you know what? I need to do something for me. So she goes and she has naughty pictures of herself taken.
I have read this one.
You've read it?
Yes. Continue. Sorry, I love this one. Oh my God.
And so like Hermione is just, she wears these cute white button down shirts. And so she's got like a friendly, bantery relationship with Draco. He comes and hangs out in her office. She thinks he's a playboy out on yachts. Oh my God, the yacht scene.
Yeah, oh my God.
And she doesn't think she has a chance basically with Draco, because she's this frumpy lawyer type. So she gets these pictures sent to her office. And so she just has them in an envelope and she's waiting to take them home. And it's like tastefully done. She's wearing lingerie.
Like boudoir shots.
Yeah.
Over, yeah.
And so she has them done for herself, which I think a lot of women can relate to. Like, you want evidence that, hey, I look good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, honestly.
But she mistakenly hands those photos to Draco, thinking that they were evidence photos. And he gets a tiny little peek at them.
Oh my God.
And the backstory here is Draco has been in love with Hermione, because obviously, for years, and he has never had the guts to like make a move. And now that he gets like a little glimpse behind the curtains, he's like, maybe she's spicier than I thought she was. And so that's all. I mean, it's kind of light and fluffy, and they end up together in the end. And there's this mutual exchange of pictures as well.
Oh, God. Yeah, because this is Pansy's like a photographer or something.
So Pansy's girlfriend.
Yeah.
Is a photographer. And
because it was a long time ago that I read this, but I remember the scene where Draco's having his photos done. Because he's like in bed, a little bit disheveled, and he's like, I need to do something, but like this feels like kind of cringy. And then he like looks up into the camera like, oh God, this scene lives rent free in my head. Oh my God. Wow. I feel like a sleeper agent. You just like unlocked that.
Yep.
Oh, God.
So I highly recommend Love and Other Historical Accidents, read The Secretary next, then remember one thing, and then finish with One and Done.
Yeah. A little like, cherry on top.
Yeah. It's Hermione, Pansy, and it's fantastic.
I love that. I will have to, there is another amnesia story in Hermione that is like well remembered. I'll have to find it and maybe I'll put it in like the comments or whatever. But if you like a second chance romance, that's another one that's like...
I love a second chance romance. There's something so like tragic about it.
I know, but it also makes me like sad. It's like, oh no.
But they always have a good ending.
That is true. Yeah. Except that one fucking Jojo Myers book. Amelia Clark was in the movie. The guy kills himself at the end.
Oh, Me Before You?
Yeah.
I will not.
Was traumatized
ever.
by that book. Yeah.
Yeah. So
anyways, Wait and Hope by Might Be Writing is the book I'm thinking.
Wait and Hope? Okay.
Another second chance romance. Memory loss. Amnesia.
Give it to me.
I love that you're in this era. I'm here for it.
Yeah, so Measure of a Man is next. So if you enjoyed Katie's pick of the week, Measure of a Man, I will be reading that. And maybe we're going to have 2 picks of the week with that one.
Love it.
Yep. There we go.
Corrupting the masses. From Jordan's shelf to yours.
We will see you on the next page.
Hi, readers. If you'd like to help us pick our next book, send us a message on Instagram.
Or if you'd like to just listen, we post new episodes every Monday and Wednesday on Spotify, Apple, and Amazon. Thanks for listening.
Bussin'.